Hey everybody, welcome to the Herd Fit Podcast with Dr. Sam Rhee and myself, Coach David Syvertsen. This podcast is aimed at helping anyone and everyone looking to enhance their healthy lifestyle through fitness, nutrition, and most importantly, mindset. All right, welcome back to the Herd Fit Podcast. I am Coach David Syvertsen here with my co-host, Dr. and Coach Sam Rhee, and we have gone RX Plus with our guest list today. We have the CEO of CrossFit Inc., Don Faul, and fellow Bergen County native. Don, thank you so much for spending your time with us this morning.
Well, thank you guys for having me. I am super fired up to be here.
We are recording this the morning of the live 23.2 announcement at CrossFit Bison, and it's been a pinch me week. I don't think I've slept in about 5 to 10 days. However, I've been on adrenaline like I've never been before, and this is a part of it, being able to sit down with Don and just talk shop with him. Sam and I did a lot of research and preparation for this, listening to all the podcasts that you've been on, A, to make sure we don't get too repetitive, but B, to get a feel. And I've listened to all of them probably twice, maybe 3 times, some of them.
Wow, I'm sorry.
And I think one of the biggest takeaways I have and why I'm most excited is this is the most excited I've ever been in regard to leadership at CrossFit since I've been involved. So we're really looking forward to this conversation. Sam, let's intro our special guest here.
Yes, so Don Faul is the CEO of CrossFit since August 2022, so last year. You graduated from United States Naval Academy with a BS in Systems Engineering, went to Stanford University Business School, got your MBA, and then since then you worked at Google as manager of online sales and operations, at Facebook, VP of online operations, at Pinterest as head of operations, and then a startup called Athos, which created surface electromyography wearable bodysuits.
That's right.
And then you've been a board member at Neuro International, which is a nonprofit which helps farmers fight extreme poverty and climate change in Africa for a long time. That was for your entire career, it sounds like.
Yeah, it's been about 12, 13 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then, so since August, you've been the head of CrossFit LLC.
That's right. And in there, a 6-year stint in the Marines after college.
Oh, yes.
It's all good.
Most important.
I'm old, so there's a lot to cover. So.
Yeah, that's quite the history that you have underneath you, and you could see why CrossFit, the decision makers, decided to bring you on and lead the shop. What have the first few months been like in your position?
It's been exhilarating, a little bit overwhelming in a great way. Honestly, it kind of lots of pinch me moments.
Right.
As you mentioned, this is the dream job for me.
Wow.
Incredible. I've always had, growing up, always had a real passion for sports and athletics and fitness. And, I discovered CrossFit about 9 years ago now, and it's had a huge impact on my life. So to have the opportunity to be a part of this team and community in a more formal sort of way has been amazing. It's been great. I've gotten a chance. My biggest priority when I started was just trying to get out and meet people. So spend time with our team, spend time with the community, ask a lot of questions, trying to make sure that I wasn't coming in with any preconceived notions. So that I had a really good foundation that I could build on, we could build on in terms of what we focused on. So it's been phenomenal.
That's awesome. Great to hear. You have been in the trenches, as you said. You've been CrossFitting for 9 years, and I think that's very important. I think it's important for an owner of a gym to CrossFit. I think it's important for a coach, but even the guys at the top. We actually just got done doing a workout with you and Austin and a couple of our coaches here at Bison, and it's in a sense where we meet you at dinner last night, naturally I'm a little intimidated, right? You're the CEO of CrossFit. I know you probably don't want to hear that, but it is. You're just in that position, right? But the second you come into a box, and the box was like, it's a disaster right now with how many things are all over the place for the production today. But it's a special and unique business and feel that when the CEO of CrossFit, the top dog, 3, 2, 1, go, we're CrossFitters for those 15 minutes. There is no CEO, there is no coach. And that's something that we really practice here at the gym is no one is better than the other. No one is lower than the other. Once that 3, 2, 1 goes, we are all the same.
Did you judge his form?
What?
Did you judge his form?
No, but I did beat him.
He destroyed me. There's no question about that. I tell you what, this job has been very humbling on that front. I like working at technology companies. Working out with engineers is a lot better on my ego. No, you're 100% right. It's one of the things I love about this community, and to me, there's a little bit of that essence. that I experienced in the Marine Corps as well. It's something really similar and really special. I used to say you could sit next to a Marine who served in World War II and you had an instant connection.
Yeah,
and
that's awesome.
I think the same thing is true in our community. I've gotten a chance to, over the last 6 months, travel and meet, hundreds of affiliates now, thousands probably,
Wow.
In the U.S. and around the world as well. And you can walk into a box in Sao Paulo, and that connection's there.
Yep.
In 30 seconds, you're getting after it, you're sweating together. There is that common understanding and ethos that is so unique and so special that I don't think you can truly understand as an outsider until you're really a part of it. So, I couldn't agree more. And I think it's one of the things that's really special about our community.
Great. So just kind of like diving into some of the CrossFit methodology, because you obviously know the brand, you know the workout program. Is the actual methodology and the curriculum, is it fundamentally complete? When you're talking about the seminar staff and, are there things, I still read old CrossFit Journal articles. Are they dated? Sure, but it's amazing how many of them still ring true. But things evolve. And now we're probably 20 years into the business, really. Some of these journals go back 20 years almost. Do you think that's complete? Do you think it needs to be built off of? Or is it it is so efficient the way it is, we just need to refine?
Well, I think one of the things that is, I think, really special about CrossFit is how it is so principally grounded and derived. It is, I stumbled upon, I've been doing CrossFit for a while. I didn't do my L1 until about 6 months ago. But at my last company, we were working on really understanding how our technology could best align with how the human body actually works.
Right.
And I went searching for a documentation, a definition of fitness, et cetera. And CrossFit, was the only place where I could find it. Glassman used to talk about this, still talks about this all the time. The level 1 manual is, and again, a lot of the journal articles that are part of that are just so incredibly well articulated. And one of the things that I think is really unique that gets at this question is that the whole foundation for CrossFit is that we're empirically driven. Right. This isn't a random set of exercises. This is derived from how the human body, how our energy systems work, and fundamentally what drives the best results. So are we done? No. Are we pretty close? We are closer than anyone else, without question. But I think we need to continue to remind ourselves that we should be constantly stress testing the methodology and looking for opportunities for us to drive better results.
Do you or the seminar staff foresee any evolutions? Can you tell us what you might want to do with the methodology at this point? So,
I don't think there's anything in the short term that I see, and I wouldn't expect, we're not going to see wild changes here.
Right.
I think there is a little bit of tension in, really thinking about how do we best apply the methodology for, different gyms, different communities have different styles and preferences.
Yes.
And that's why I think, for us, our affiliate community and coaches are so fundamentally important because they can apply the foundation of our methodology and apply it in a way that best meets the needs of their community, meets them where they are. And so I think for us, a lot of what we're trying to do now actually is really elevate what's happening across the community. So if we're talking to a coach in one particular area who is struggling with a particular type of issue, I guarantee there's another affiliate owner or coach who has experienced that and figuring it out. And we're trying to do a better job of connecting members of our community so they can share with each other what they're seeing.
Right. Great. Thank you. Yeah. We've both taken Henshaw's aerobic capacity seminar. We've both kind of had side discussions of, will there ever be more nutritional guidance within CrossFit, right? Because, even dating back to the old school CrossFit Journal articles, they always do stress that nutrition is the foundation of everything.
Yep.
When you go into a CrossFit gym, no matter where, most of the times it is workout based. And is there any thought in putting a little bit more nutrition certification type programs into, the big picture?
Yeah, so I think there's a big opportunity for an increased focus in a lot of gyms on nutrition, and I think we definitely play a role there. I think what you'll see from us, one of our big priorities this year is investing more in educational resources. So we have, I think it's one of the strengths of our team, and one of the foundations of our community is the work that we do through the level 1, the level 2, et cetera. What we're really trying to focus on is, on top of those, increasing the number of smaller format education. So on top of it, maybe a 2-day level 1 or 2-day level 2, having a ongoing stream of content you can access on an ongoing basis across a variety of different domains. Nutrition, I think, being one of them. I think you'll see both us do more of that. So you'll see an increase in the volume of content, educational content, and we're really trying to focus on elevating partners in the ecosystem who are doing exceptional work. So on the nutrition front, we have partners in the APN, the Affiliate Partner Network, who we work with, who are doing an exceptional job helping affiliate owners understand how do you build a great nutrition program that you can layer on to what you're already doing in the box to accelerate results for your members. Great. And again, I see our job as helping make those resources more easily accessible.
All right, so next, I want to dive into, this is something I'm really kind of selfishly into and I really want to get some of the feedback on, is the HQ and affiliate relationship. So we've been affiliated, we are now in year 10, and we're on the day of, thank you, and we are on probably the biggest day of our gym's history today. We can't wait for it. But we've heard you mention on the previous podcast raising the floor for affiliates. And just like as athletes, we never in our gym, we always tell people you're no better or worse than any athlete in the gym. And I say this with affiliates, you're not better or worse than any affiliate out there. What can you do, though, for all of us to understand, whether you think you're on either side of that spectrum, how can a gym raise their floor? Yeah,
I think one of the biggest ways is through increased education. So I think, again, having gotten a chance to get out and talk to a lot of affiliate owners, a lot of coaches, there are, and again, I'll come back to, I think we play a really big role in this. There are a lot of affiliate owners who I talk to who are, as you guys know, running an affiliate is an enormous amount of work. It is a huge investment. Talk to a lot of affiliate owners who don't have the time and cycles for an increased focus and education for themselves or for their coaching staff. And so part of our job is helping them create the time and space for that. So you may have heard me talk a little bit about we're starting to invest more in the business side of running an affiliate. And we think that's essential because that enables everything else, right? If you can run a really strong, sustainable business as an affiliate owner, you have the time and the resources to invest in building great, exceptional coaches. And I think if there's one thing I would point out that can have the biggest impact, it's that constant focus on refining your craft as a coach, that chasing virtuosity, recognizing that you can always get better. I think that is probably the single most important thing.
One of the things, and I see what we've done with the Affiliates Partner Network, the Affiliate Roundtable, Affiliate Playbook, CAP programming, trying to help give more options for affiliates. And everything that you've done or have talked about has really emphasized, like you said, improving the quality, the overall quality of affiliates. And to me, it's like doctors. If you were to get your shoulder surgery done somewhere, and someone said, hey, listen, I'm going to go get my shoulder surgery. And they said, where are you going? And you're like, just the nearest doctor. Like I Googled it, and it's like, he's right here or she's right there, and I'm going to just go. You'd be like, wait a second, maybe you need to do a little background research. And it would be the same thing for a box right now. Where are you going to go at CrossFit? There's 5 boxes, but there's one right here. And then you might be like, maybe or maybe not, depending on a lot of different factors in different areas. So I can understand why you would want to increase the quality of all the affiliates, but it also means that to a certain degree, some affiliates might worry, is HQ going to have a stronger hand in determining the success of affiliates? And so if you try to read between the lines for some of these podcasts,
for sure,
you are encouraging affiliates with both a carrot and a stick. You want to give them more programming options, more educational opportunities. And if they don't, to a certain degree, because you're looking at metrics for these affiliates, you're going to say, well, you might not be featured as prominently like when you Google a place, or not Google, but you go to the website and you say CrossFit in Bergen County. And you have suggested that the ones that have met certain educational requirements or have done more in terms of working to improve themselves might be listed a little bit higher.
That's right. Yeah, and I think, in thinking about that, I think we are very much focused on, look, at the end of the day for us, when we think about why this matters and who we serve, it's our community, right? It's the men and women who are walking in the front door of an affiliate who, are looking for something that we know can change their life. So our job is to create, I think as a community, when I say this is all of us, is to create the best possible experience and reach as many people as we can. And the most powerful thing we have to do that is world-class affiliates. It's making sure when they walk in the front door, they're going to have a life-changing experience. And what we want to do is reward. We want to make it really easy to create that exceptional experience. And we want to direct members to the best affiliates who are going to have the biggest impact. And Coach Glassman used to say, right, like the market rewards excellence.
Yes.
And that is I think a really positive thing in our community. Yep. We should, right, the best, I think that the best gyms, the best coaches are going to be intrinsically motivated to get better and exceptional. And that benefits all of us. And if we can rise the tide, we're going to reach more people. And again, when I think about what we're going to use, it's really going to try to focus on using those carrots. How do we reward the folks who are doing an exceptional job?
Yeah, I mean, competition breeds success. We see that on the small level here at the gym. We have a very fit gym, and it's not because of the programming or coaching. It's because there's a lot of fit people in here that are competitive with each other.
Totally.
And I like to tie that to business too. And even now, another shout out to CrossFit Waldwick for allowing our entire membership to work out there this week. That is something that I think 5 or 6 years ago I would have been afraid to do. And for selfish reasons and not thinking about the memberships is, oh my God, my people are going to go there and they're going to like that gym better. But I think what it does is it bonded us together, CrossFit Waldwick and I and Chris, and had a lot of good conversations, and we're helping them out. They're helping us out. But also what it does, I've been there multiple times this week, and I'm like getting a few ideas from the layout of their floor. And I'm like, you know what? I think our gym experience could be better if we had this. Right. And I've talked to them about some of our stuff, like with programming and running classes and all that kind of stuff. So I like the idea of, like what he said, competition breeds success. And I think being on your toes like that should bring out the best effort in everything.
I would say if I was a new affiliate, there would be some concerns I would have in terms of, again, I always look at boxes and physicians sort of similar in some ways, that I am passionate about medicine. But when I went into business for myself, I knew very little about the business side of running a small business, and it was very painful to get those lessons. I know, Dave, when you started, you had the passion for the box, but your business acumen was like, and your passion were like here, like there was a huge disconnect.
Yes.
Over time, it got there. And HQ has never emphasized profitability, business acumen, doing, smart business principles. Yep. And this is the first time I've ever heard, you're talking to Jason Kalipa, who runs an extraordinarily successful group of now re-affiliated. Yep. Your home box for a while, right?
Yep, that's right.
What happens at this point if you lose either struggling affiliates or affiliates who just didn't get to that curve of learning yet for the business stuff? What if I'm struggling somewhere right now and I'm like, I just don't have that knowledge, or I refuse to. Maybe they don't even want to.
Yeah, look, I think, first for folks, one of the things that's always been, really unique and special about the community is our affiliate owners are independent business owners and entrepreneurs, and they run their business, they make their decisions. I think that is a huge part of why we've been so successful, and we've seen such incredible innovation within our community. So if there are affiliate owners out there who are not interested, that's their decision, that's their call. What I will say to the folks who are struggling and looking is we are doing more now than we ever have. If you are struggling, we have invested heavily in our team. We've invested heavily in partnerships with other folks in the community to provide you resources to help tackle those challenges. On the business side, as I mentioned, that is one of our biggest areas of focus this year, because I think that is one of the biggest challenges when we look across the affiliate community. There are too many affiliates who are getting by on passion alone. Right. The passion's essential. It is our secret weapon. It's what we have that I would argue no other fitness community has. But it's not enough. You need the passion plus being able to build a really strong, sustainable business. And historically, we have left most affiliate owners on their own to get up that learning curve. You got to figure it out over X years. And if you're fortunate, get past a series of early mistakes. We want to help new affiliate owners avoid a lot of those mistakes. And what's really cool is in conversations I'm having with so many affiliate owners, the number of successful, savvy business owners who are raising their hand and saying, we'd love to help. I'd love to be a mentor. I've talked to affiliate owners who will run internship programs for new affiliate owners who they'll hang out in their gym for 6 months before they go start their own affiliate. Wow. That's incredible. Yeah. So we're really trying to lean into more of those types of efforts. Power
of the community, man. It can do big things. Sometimes the answer's right in front of your face just like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Now, what are two things, before we move on to just like the company and the vision, What are two things affiliates can do today to help change CrossFit for the better?
So two things. The first is, we address this. We've been talking about this at some of our affiliate summits. So the first is, I'd say, is just that constant reminder of continuing to chase virtuosity.
Yep.
Just bringing, and most affiliates do this, but walking in the front door of your gym every day. The best affiliate owners walk in every day and they're like, we can get better at that. We can get better at that, and continuously chasing that. Second thing I think is really lean into the community. Remember, you're not, I know, in talking to affiliate owners, it can be a really hard and lonely job. It can feel competitive by virtue of you're running a business, but we have this incredibly powerful asset in our community that can elevate everyone. And I would say for a lot of affiliate owners who I talk to have been successful, they think about their role now as paying it forward. Okay. I've benefited so much from this. I love this community. Yeah. I feel like I have a responsibility to give back.
Amen. Yeah. All right. Now, the vision that you have as the leader and the CEO of CrossFit, okay, where's your starting point? Like, if I know you've said this on a few different podcasts, but I'd like to maybe just get the conversation going with that. Is what is your long-term vision? We could talk metrics. A couple of those we have written down. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But what is like the starting point of the vision you have for CrossFit?
Yeah, I think what's incredibly special about CrossFit, this is something we all know, is that CrossFit, it changes lives. I mean, how many conversations have you had with people have you seen walk in the front door of your gym and whose life is forever changed in sometimes small ways and sometimes like really significant, meaningful ways? And so I think we have something that we know can have an enormous impact on individuals. It can have a huge impact on communities. I think over time it has the potential, and this will sound a little grandiose, to have an impact at a societal level as well. If we zoom out and look at where we are right now as a society, we are less healthy than ever. Physical fitness, mental health, after 2 years of COVID, depression, anxiety are at all-time highs. If you look at the U.S., 70% of adults are obese or overweight. 35% of kids are obese and overweight, and the trends are moving in a bad direction. Right. And unfortunately, increasingly, what we hear as the solution is drugs. And again, there is a time and place for that, but we are struggling with a lot of lifestyle-related issues that are having a massive impact on society. And I think we have something here that has the opportunity to have a profound impact on reversing a lot of those trends. So that's where I start. We have something now that we know works, we know can be the antidote and the answer to so many of those challenges. And so, our true north, as we've talked about our vision, is reaching as many people as we can with this magical thing that is CrossFit, that has obvious benefits in fitness, but less obvious benefits around a sense of belonging and importance and community that the world really needs right now. And so, again, that may sound a little pie in the sky, but we really believe it. And so, we've got something special. Set your sights high. Yeah,
I mean, I get that feeling when I listen to you, talk to you, and a lot of the staff that's even here with us this week, is you truly believe in what you're saying. And it's not a template answer. And we know it comes from the heart, and we know that it works, right? It's worked on to this scale, to this point. And you've talked about really, really growing to this. Do you have any fear or hesitation in my eyes, from my outsider's perspective, there is some old school CrossFitters and some new school. And they have a lot of old school CrossFitters, whether they're athletes, affiliate owners, coaches, friends of mine, right? They're very set in their ways. And they don't think we should have sponsors like Chipotle. They don't, or Monster Energy, that kind of stuff, right? How do you mesh the two together? That's one of the things I've always been most fascinated. And I've always said this to Sam. I think that's the biggest challenge of a new CEO, is the people that took CrossFit off the ground are not necessarily the right people to take it to the next level. Yeah. And where do you stand with that? Do you have any thoughts on that?
First I'd say I think this dynamic is I think really common in a lot of organizations early on. When you go, for me, my experience, I spent a bunch of years working in technology, and I can remember at Facebook, I joined at about 300 employees when it was majority of college kids in the U.S. That was it. Wow. And we had to figure out, how do we get beyond that? And that required a real meaningful shift in the organization. And so, the way we showed up, the way we worked together, what we focused on evolved. Now, we didn't lose what made Facebook special really on, that core essential DNA. our vision and mission never changed. You can go back and look at the way that Mark would write about it. The vision was exactly the same, but it required us to really think about how do we evolve in alignment with our principles to get there. I think the same is true as us. And literally my first week was at the games. The number of people who talked about the old school, like to me, there is no old school and new school. There is CrossFit. There is our community. And when I actually get down and talk to people and ask people, do you think we can reach more people? Do you think we should try to reach more people? The answer is usually universally yes. Awesome. There are very few people who will say, no, we should literally lock down the sides of the community right now. Yeah. We're selling our soul if we reach more people. If I ask a follow-on question, then do you think there are things that need to evolve if we're going to reach more people? Most people would also say yes. Okay. Now, the next question is where do we need to, where is it essential for us to stay true to who we are? And where are the areas where we do have some degrees of freedom? And I think this is where the essential elements is. Okay. So for us, what we've tried to work really hard on is really defining and articulating what our core principles are. What is CrossFit? Who are we? Mm-hmm. What do we believe in? What are the foundational set of principles we will never waver from? Nicole Carroll led this for us. So we did some work in defining that. It was extraordinary work. Now we can use that to both communicate externally and internally. Look, this is these are the principles that will guide what we do. Every partnership we do will be viewed through this lens. We've turned away a ton of partnerships that would have been financially very lucrative for us because they didn't align with our principles. And moving forward, I think that'll continue to be the means by which we ensure we can say to every member of our community, we are going to stay true to who we are no matter what. And I have an enormous amount of confidence that we can do that and reach a ton more people. Now, we're going to have to be open-minded. Yes. If you're just against change in any form, sorry, you're not going to be happy with how things evolve. And we got to have the courage. We're going to make some mistakes. We at HQ have to have the courage to be willing to make some changes. Mm-hmm. And then our responsibility is to communicate why we're doing it in alignment with those principles.
Could you describe your leadership style a little bit? Because I see two sides of it on... You've talked about being in service as a leader, service to your organization, to the people that you work with. But then on the tech side, you also see these CEOs like a Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg who have an incredibly powerful role in pulling others into their vision. What is this iPhone thing? I don't even know what this thing is. Mm-hmm. Like, it's stupid. Why don't we just make something like a BlackBerry? Or, Mark Zuckerberg. Like, how can we reach billions of people? What? That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So is your style or goal to literally have that vision and pull everyone around you to get there? Or are you like team efforting everyone to sort of get there for you?
I'd say, I'll certainly say like I came into this role with opinions and a point of view on what the future could look like for us. But there is no, I will never say my vision. Mm-hmm. This is our vision. And, I believe really strongly my role is to create the condition where our incredible team and incredible community can rally around a vision that they all believe in, not because I've said it's the right one, but because they believe in it intrinsically, that it lights something inside of them that gets them excited to come into work every single day and work really long hours because that future is so exciting and so motivated and they believe it at their core. Part of that is, I think a huge part of my job is being able to articulate that, the storytelling element of it, being able to communicate and convey. This is where you look at a Steve Jobs where he was genius, his ability to storytell and paint a picture of the future. And so, yes, that's an essential part of my job, but really, I view my role is putting our team and our community in a position where we can all run together at one vision of the future that we are collectively excited about and partner to get there.
So you've thrown out the number 20 to 30 million by the year 2030.
Mm-hmm. 30 million.
30 million by the year 2030. Yep. That's right. And I love it. I love aggressive goals, right? Since 2012, I've been trying to make the games, and I've never gotten close, but I keep saying we're going to try to go.
I hope he's more successful than you.
But that is an incredibly high number, and I don't know even if some of our listeners understand how big of a number that is from where we currently stand. Sam did a little bit of research on this, but currently Planet Fitness is the largest gym in the USA with 16 million. 16 million. Very expensive to franchise. He said $1.5 to $5 million to start up. Peloton, about 5 million users. Right now, CrossFit, correct me if I'm wrong, currently about 2 to 3 million athletes. And is 15,000 affiliates? Or are we a little lower than that?
A little lower than that.
Okay, about 12?
About 13 and change.
Okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, you're talking about a very significant percentage increase. How realistic is that goal to hit by 2030?
Mm-hmm. Do you know 10 people who don't do CrossFit today?
I do.
Who could benefit from it? Do you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Does every one of your members?
Absolutely.
Okay. In the U.S. alone, we could get there.
Okay.
And now remember, we're a global company. We have
Love it.
We have very few gyms in China right now. We can find 30 million people in China who would benefit from it. Now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not.
Yeah.
But when I think about, if we look at this through a business lens, our addressable market is hundreds of millions of people around the world, maybe billions if you argue. Now we have some obstacles, like how do we get there? And that's where we're focused. First, I think our biggest obstacle is in some of the misperceptions that exist around who CrossFit is for. Is it dangerous? Do I have to be exceptionally fit before I can get a shot? It's too intense. We all know that's not the case, right? You can I'm sure I could walk into any one of your workouts here and see young people, old people, fit people who are just starting in their journey.
Yep.
But if you're sitting on the couch at home and you've heard about it from your friend who talks about CrossFit all the time because he or she loves it, you may have a misperception. So that's number one. I think when we solve that, and we're working on that right now, I think that'll accelerate growth in a really meaningful sort of way for us. The second is we have too many places around the world that don't have a local affiliate. So we are the largest network of gyms, yet if you zoom out and look at a map, there's a lot of dark where there isn't the light of a CrossFit affiliate yet. And so there's a ton of work. Our highest areas for growth right now are Western Europe, Asia. Korea is blowing up right now for us. So we have an enormous opportunity to continue to grow the affiliate community to reach more people. Third piece I'd say is something we got to think about. I think increasingly we are seeing people who are either doing CrossFit from home or doing a little bit of a hybrid. So maybe a couple of days a week in an affiliate, a couple of days a week at home.
Yeah.
I don't know that we do a great job yet supporting those members of the community. And so we need to really think about how do we connect them. We definitely believe the best manifestation of CrossFit is in an affiliate. But if you can't access an affiliate, we want to make it available as well because we think it can be powerful. And then the final piece I'd say is there are some socioeconomic blockers as well, right? So if the average, monthly membership for a CrossFit gym in the U.S. is somewhere between $150, $160, there's a lot of people for whom that completely rules it out.
Absolutely.
And so I think we got to really think hard about how do we make it available to those folks. You could argue, and maybe it's the case is so clear you don't even need to argue it. Those are the communities that need it the most. Those are the communities that are struggling with nutrition issues, who are not getting access to physical fitness, and whose life is really meaningfully impacted. So I think we solve those issues, we have an enormous opportunity.
I mean, I love your initial answer. That challenged me so much. He's like, do you know 10 people that don't CrossFit? I'm like, probably know 300.
Yeah, but
like,
dude,
that challenges me.
I can't get my dad to CrossFit. How am I going to get 10 other people to CrossFit?
Yeah.
Like, it's a challenge.
I agree. I can't get my dad either, and I've been working on it.
Yeah.
I keep sending him videos like, here's this 92-year-old woman from what's your excuse? But I think we both know. I know my dad. My dad is in his late 70s now, and this might be the point at his life where he would benefit most from CrossFit.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And so just getting him over the hump, that I view that as a big challenge and opportunity for us. We got to figure it out.
Where do you see, okay, if that's your 2030 goal, how about 2025? Can you hit a 2-year goal for us?
So we haven't set these yet. I'd say, we are, as we thought about getting to where we want to be in 2030, we say the largest force for health and performance globally. There's kind of 3 big steps for us. The first year and a half for us. So in the short-term focus, we're focused on a few different things. One, it's really for us building the muscle of growth. So we historically, CrossFit benefited from organic viral growth.
Yep.
Right? People love the experience. They walk out to tell people about it. That we need to continue to make sure that we accelerate that. And that's where the in-gym experience is the most powerful way to do it. But we also need to figure out how we reach other audiences. And so we're building that muscle internally. So a lot of work on media. You've probably seen, if you've seen the Magic of CrossFit campaign.
So good. So good.
Yeah, team's done exceptional work on that. We're doing a lot of work around search engine optimization, internet marketing, leveraging our social channels. We're looking at partnerships, not through the lens of just financial relationships, but also how do we partner with folks who can expand our audience so that we can get CrossFit in front of more people. So that's priority number one. Priority two is really on building strong affiliates, and that's essential for us. That is the foundation for everything. Priority three is building stronger coaches, so raising the level of quality primarily through education. And then the fourth is for us building a really strong, sustainable business. So for HQ, in the same way that if an affiliate wants to impact a lot of lives, you have to build a strong, sustainable business. The same is true for us. And so 2 years out, if we look 2 years out, we will have a really strong, repeatable, measurable engine of growth. Okay. We understand how to reach your dad and my dad. We understand if you look at the state of the brand in 2 years, I think it will be a much more approachable one. Okay. It'll still resonate with the early members of our community, but we'll see more and more people walk in the front door, less intimidated by the experience. I think on the affiliate side, you'll see an increase in the number of affiliates, but more importantly, we are focused on what we want to increase is the take-home earnings for the average affiliate. Meaningful increase in take-home earnings. So figuring out how we support them in that. And then on the education front, shifting from, I'd say today, if I had to characterize our education, which again, I think is excellent, it's primarily oriented around, I do my L1, I do my L2, I get to L3. It's maybe I do it once a year, once every couple of years. We want to shift that paradigm to education is something you're doing every day.
Okay. I love that. That's awesome. Now, data collection, especially with your background, it's something that you are probably a little bit more adept at doing than someone that doesn't have a technology background. The goal of achieving 30 million people by 2030, that's going to require a lot of analysis and data to come in and to break it down and to organize it and make decisions off of it. How much data are you collecting from affiliates?
Very little today.
Okay, because I was going to say, is that something that is going to be part of this process, in terms of, again, mentoring other gyms? Or is that more on the affiliates themselves to seek the data from other affiliates? So,
in the long run, if I think about for us being able to realize any of our goals, this data, so when we think about, when we talk about data, it's really grounded in what I would say that data represents is helping us understand what's happening in our community so we can better serve it and support it.
Right.
So where are we growing? Where aren't we growing? Which affiliates are the most successful? Which affiliates are struggling? Right now, we can't answer that question. Our team knows it anecdotally because they talk to them, but we should be able to identify, hey, which new affiliates in their first 90 days are struggling because we know they're an essential set of steps. Which affiliates are opening at break even? We don't know that.
Okay.
And so for us, we've got to figure out how do we get a better understanding of our ecosystem so that we can both build and deliver products and services at the right time to the right members of our community to help them be successful. Now, how we get there is the big question.
Yeah, how?
So there are some things that we've been working on recently where we've asked affiliates if they're willing to raise their hand and volunteer it. And a bunch of affiliates have. And so we said, here's why we want it. Here's what we're asking for. Here's how we'll help you.
Are you talking about like your books and all that, everything, like to open up everything to you guys?
It depends on the scenario, but in some cases, yes.
Okay.
Like, hey, we'd love to understand. We're trying to work on really helping affiliates understand how to run a better business. To do that, we need to better understand information where they're at. So looking at things like growth. So one of the things that we're working on this year, as I mentioned, is ultimately we want to get people to CrossFit.com, from CrossFit.com to your website to walk in the front door.
Got it.
To be able to evaluate that, we need to know when they walk in the front door and actually start a new membership.
Got it.
We can't evaluate that today. So those are the types of things we're looking at to think about how do we build optimally, how do we build products and services that are valuable for you that you choose to use as an affiliate owner or a coach that through that usage gives us access to information that we can use to better serve and support.
I would think as a tech person, if I wanted to do that, I would create an app. I would have every affiliate use it and make it incredibly useful for them. So, and then you could track what they're doing with it, have every athlete use that app, and then suddenly it's just like Facebook or Instagram. You have an incredible amount. Isn't that what the tech industry is? It's not the product. The products are the users. Now you suddenly have all, like, wouldn't you want to know as CrossFit HQ the age of every athlete, how often they're working out, they're logging, if they're using it to log their workouts, if they're using it to record affiliate, if it's useful for the affiliate manager, like, isn't that ultimately the goal of HQ, is to be able to have something like that where you could just do it painlessly?
That's a good idea. I like that.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's one way of getting there for sure.
Okay.
And yeah, absolutely. You can imagine, today, every member of our community is opening an app.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
To register for a class, to see what the workout is, to track their results. And in doing so, there's some really interesting and valuable data. And again, that's important because I think in knowing that, we can deliver better experiences. Think about having, if we had all of that, we'd have one of the largest and most valuable sets of data and understanding how to improve health at scale. For us to be able to go tell that story, like we know it to be true. We know the impact CrossFit has, but to be able to have the data and tell that story broadly in the world could be pretty compelling.
And that could be business and even just the performance of the athletes. Like,
Oh, no, there's benefits for the athletes.
Right.
For sure.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
if we have an app where you are logging your score for every single time, and we're still old school here. Don't use the word old school, but we still write down everyone's name and workout score on our whiteboard every single day.
Love it.
And should I evolve with the times and start to get this into an app? Will people do that on their own? I think there's actual human connection in writing someone's names down, and that's kind of a big reason why we're tied to each other over the years, and that's how we know a lot of people's names. We write them down every single day. But how much of that can help the programming side is, hey, these things are a little too heavy. This is not hitting a certain stimulus. We need to avoid these movement patterns. Injury data collection would help out a lot, right?
100%.
That would be
Yeah, you
huge.
can imagine like it's relatively not trivial for us to be able to, if you know what the workout is for the day, if we know that I have a shoulder injury, being able to tell me before I show up what the scale is going to be.
Yeah, right.
Super simple. And the coach knows. You can imagine the coach knowing walking in. If I'm dropping into a new gym, it's already taken care of. Right.
You go, what issues you have? Shoulder, knee, and then boom, the scaled workout for you comes up.
Exactly.
I would say there are two things with this. One is I don't know how many of I will stay old school people are. It's about privacy issues basically, and I think 10 or 15 years ago this would have been much more of an issue. But at this point in our culture and society, I don't honestly think if your benefit is that if the benefit outweighs that. And if you trust CrossFit HQ, I would be willing. I mean, I know how much data I'm giving to a lot of companies every day by accessing all of these social media apps. I know that there are going to be some issues dealing with that controversy about that. But I feel like that's really one of the biggest ways CrossFit HQ can survive, grow, and make themselves hit 30 million because I know my children. I know what they use. I know how they consume media. And for all users, like it would be so incredibly helpful. The helpfulness of it outweighs, would equal my trust in CrossFit basically.
Yeah, and I think that's really well said. And I think for us, there's two things that we keep in mind as it relates to this. One, we have to continue every single day to earn the trust of our community in how we show up in the decisions that we make. That's essential. And two, if we're going to do this, we need to build experiences that deliver incredibly obvious and overwhelming value. It is a no-brainer. And so if we do that really well, then we earn the right to better understand our community. And if we better understand our community, we can better serve them. The other side I'd say is this is already happening today. If you're using a membership management, if you're tracking your results,
absolutely,
you are giving a third party a bunch of this data. And again, you're doing it for that same reason because you see the value that you get from it.
All right. So the last thing we have here is just about the brand. And you've mentioned branding relationships with partners that are synergistic in nature, right? Would that include potential partners like the NFL or other professional sport leagues?
Potentially.
Yeah.
I think we... actually, one of our title sponsor Noble has done a deal with the NFL.
The Combine next week.
Sponsoring the Combine,
Very
exactly.
awesome, so cool.
Yeah, super cool. Again, when I think about this, we've asked our partnership team now to really think about. Again, they play a really big role in helping support our financial goals. But just as important, it's about shaping, strengthening our brand and reaching new audiences. And so when we think through that lens, how do we reach more people who might be a great fit for CrossFit? I think athletes in other domains who are fans of other sports or are training for other sports is a total home run for us. I grew up playing sports. I'd be embarrassed to describe like my strength and conditioning routine in high school. I was doing the dumbest stuff ever. In college, I was doing like bodybuilding like type stuff.
Bicep curls.
Lots of preacher curls, like the dumbest stuff ever. You know, I think now about, gosh, for a high school athlete, CrossFit is an extraordinary strength and conditioning foundation that is going to make you more resilient, that's going to help you perform better in the field. How do we reach those kids? Partnerships with organizations like the NFL, et cetera, showing there's a bunch of NFL athletes that are doing CrossFit.
Absolutely, yeah. A lot of pro baseball players too. Bryce Harper, I always look into some of the stuff that he does. I mean, is he at a CrossFit WOD class? No, but it is a lot of the same modalities and movements that we do here.
I thought one of the best commercials was the ladder nutrition with Steph Chung and LeBron James.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that, and that synergy was so amazing. And I was like, if CrossFit leverages any of that, like, we will explode in terms of visibility. Explode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, are there? So F45 has done this with like Mark Wahlberg, where you could tell they purposely get some celebrities in. Is that, without talking shade about anyone? You won't do that.
No,
that was awful.
I know that's kind of, I don't want to use the term sellout, but it's not real to me.
It was organic,
and people can pick up on that.
Yeah, look, the one thing that our community will throw up on, as they should, is anything that comes across as inauthentic, and it would be, for us, undermine our most important asset, which is our brand.
Yes.
And our brand, we don't have to make shit up.
Yeah.
It just works. This works so well, and there are millions of people who do it and love it. Our marketing is, it's funny, we have this conversation internally. Our team hates using the word marketing, and I get it. Their point is, marketing is when you're trying to sell something. We don't have to do that. We don't have to hire actors and create fake stories.
Yeah,
we just need to bring a camera into a local affiliate, show what's happening there, and get in front of more people.
Example would be today. I mean, anyone that's going to be watching the announcement today, Joel and Kathleen, the two athletes that are from our gym, are taking on 23.2 before the games athletes. They were with media yesterday. They both have very serious, emotional stories to share. They're going to both be highlighted today, and that is what we want to hear. We want to relate to this stuff, and I think that's going to be. I think you guys are doing a great job with that, and I think that's where the person sitting on the couch is actually going to say, "Oh, I could do this too," or that inspires me to go.
Do you do anything specific in terms of gender? Because I know it's really cool how equal or even more there are in terms of women participating in CrossFit. So how do you guys approach that in terms of thinking about growing the market?
Yeah, I've got 3 little girls, and one of the things that makes me most proud about CrossFit is that women are on the exact same playing field. They're doing the exact same events, doing the same workouts, same prize money, same. You look at the Tia and being the most successful athlete in our sport. It's an incredible and amazing thing. And the cool thing is, we don't have to do anything artificial here either. Right? Yeah. We just tell the story.
Yeah.
Like, half our community is women, and it's such an incredible thing. So I'm trying not to be the insanely obsessive dad and force my kids into CrossFit so that they hate it forever. But there's a little bit of minor encouragement in it. So making them watch reruns of the CrossFit games from back in the day. So.
All right, well, the last thing here. I mean, we're hours away from 23.2 being announced here at CrossFit and at CrossFit Bison. And again, we're going to thank you for coming here and just the rest of the staff here. It's been a really impressive operation from start to finish. What are you hoping 23.2 is going to bring us?
Jeez, I'm hoping not wall walks. And I don't know. It's funny. I was already nervous about this because I'm like, when I found out that you guys were hosting, I was like, oh, geez. I grew up 2 miles from there. I can already hear the conspiracy theories of like new CEO picks. I had nothing to do with it, I promise. So I'm hoping I think I'd be excited to see some double unders.
Okay.
I'd be okay with that.
Okay.
I'd like to see some sort of barbell movements.
Yeah, cool.
I can do everything I can. I've got a jacked up shoulder, so I can't do overhead squats or snatches, but some cleans would be super fun.
Okay.
So we'll see. What about you guys?
I think we're going to be transporting back and forth a little bit, whether it's going to be shuttle runs or lunges, some sort of back and forth. And I think the rig is up there just for show. I don't think we're going to be using it this week.
Ooh,
yeah.
I like that theory.
Yeah.
All I know is Boz yesterday said, whatever the workout, after the workout's released, I think people will have strong feelings.
I love it.
I didn't know what that meant, but I'm a little scared now.
That's good. That's exciting.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks again, Don, for coming on. Really appreciate your time. I know it's limited, and we're stoked to have you here. We're honored and humbled to have you guys here too, just kind of representing CrossFit here at a CrossFit gym that's been just trying to do CrossFit the right way for 9 years now. We're in year 10, and we hope to be on the ascent with you guys because, like I said at the start of the show, I've never been this excited about leadership at CrossFit, and it means a lot that A, I mean, you're here. B, that it's a lot easier to get in contact with you guys and just get some feedback and to see that there's a real plan to support everyone involved. So I really mean that.
Well, thanks for that, and we'll keep hustling. And you know, I know our team is really motivated to do that. And I'd also say a huge thank you to you guys. You should be incredibly proud of what you built. You know, you guys got the Open because of this incredible community that we are super proud and feel really fortunate to be able to lift up on a global stage.
Yeah.
That is an incredible thing. You should be incredibly proud of.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, everybody, for taking the time out of your day to listen to the Herd Fit podcast. Be on the lookout for next week's episode.